super eclectic, a lot of people, and like had many like 4 or 5 hour plus like conversation. I went there to like get work done or something.
Yeah, and then you hear a
it's just like,
conversation and then you go.
It's like, oh, it's 10 p.m. and we've been talking since 3. Great.
Love those. Those are the best days. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brew for Business Traveling Podcast. I know it's been a minute since you've seen me live, but here we are. Excited to introduce you guys to my guest today, Diego Rago from Obsidian Atlas. We're going to get into him and all the things that he does. And today we're at the Neighbor Coffee Shop, which I'm so glad you mentioned this because I have wanted to come try this place out for a minute and I keep driving by it. Huge space, a lot of room to work from, and they do events as well, so you can rent it out. And we actually got exclusive access today to the awesome people that work here to one of the spaces that they rent so that we weren't in everyone else's way, or more like their conversations weren't overlapping ours is more like it. So we're going to get into it today. So excited to be back on the live episodes, and cheers to an awesome episode. Yeah. Oh, and in case I hadn't mentioned, we'll be looking at ourselves, at each other through the screen. So I forgot to tell that to one client, and the whole time we were like looking sideways. So Diego and I met at a networking event here last month, I think I want to say, July. Mm-hmm. And he is also in marketing, so we totally connected on some conversations and some like thoughts of like our philosophies, right, and how we approach the business, which was really awesome. But before we get into all that, Diego, are you originally from Colorado?
I am not. So I was born and raised in Venezuela.
Nice.
So some ways away.
Yeah.
Spent there good time, like 22 years, give or take. Then I lived in Argentina for a year. Then I came back home, started a couple businesses there. Things didn't pan out as well, just because probably some people might know that the situation there is not great. And then I decided that I needed a change. There were some other political things happening that I was poorly involved in and needed to like get away. So I lived here in Colorado when I was 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my sister's been here for, I don't know, 30 plus years.
Okay. Wait, so pause for a second. So Venezuela. Mm-hmm. So you were there, but then you like for a moment moved here. So how old is your sister? Older than you?
Yeah, she's 19 years older than I am.
Okay, and she decided to leave Venezuela. You said 19 years older.
Yes.
Okay. So she had already figured out that she didn't want to live there, and so she had.
And it was my brother-in-law got hired by a company, and they got brought in here. So,
nice.
And then when they got here, they just realized that this was the place they want to stay.
It does kind of have that effect on you.
There's so many people that are like, I'm gonna be here for like a couple weeks, visiting and whatever, and then you see them like 5 years later. It's like, hey, how you been? It's like, I just came in and stayed.
I haven't left.
Yeah.
I'm not on that yet. I'm on sixth month today, but that's how it started. Like my best friend was like, "Hey, come visit," and this was like 2 weeks in March.
Okay.
Was the original plan, and then it was like, "Hey, why don't you stick around?" Or like there were things going on and new animals and all that stuff, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still here," and I love it. It is really nice.
It is definitely a cool place to like be in. So
So you had a little taste of it when you were 10.
Yeah.
And then you went back to Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then so when you like officially left Venezuela, then you came out here directly?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I landed here just because I was still like maybe a month away from starting school, like a few weeks. And I went to school in Florida. Once I graduated, I bolted back.
Yeah.
So I think I stayed 2 days after graduation. And one of those days we went to Disney with a bunch of friends, just like kind of like our graduation gift to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then we came back like a day after that. So.
And so, I mean, I got a little sneak peek at this before, but what did you go to school for, and where did you?
So I went to Full Sail University for graphic designs, like 3D graphics, mentioned on like game art. It was I loved it. The whole degree was super intense. there in school for like 8-10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know, my son also went to Full Sail for a similar degree. I don't remember his exact degree, but it was for game art and design. And the way Full Sail does it is you have, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 classes per semester. And it's 8-hour days.
Yeah, 2 classes per month usually. So you have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then
8
the other
hours
one,
of one topic.
And then the other one is Tuesday, Thursday, sometimes Saturday. I had a month where things were shifted weirdly, and I ended up being in school the entire month, Sundays included.
Yeah, every day.
So, and I remember one time that it was one of those months at the beginning where we had introductory classes for 3D and art. And I was in school for about 16 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
But I loved it.
I was going to say, if you love it, and I like the fact that it's super hyper focused, right? Because in any other situation, you have you learn multiple topics, and you're getting a little tease of it, an hour a day.
Yeah.
Throughout an entire year to learn it, but this is hyper focused by the month.
Yeah.
So you have no choice but to retain.
Yeah. Well, and the whole approach that the school took is this is industry. This is how this industry behaves. And we even had classes from 1 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Oh, nice.
So
you might get the late night shift.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's when you're in production and you have a deadline, crunch time comes in, you need to finish the product because the publishing partner said that they were releasing on the 10th and it's the first, and it's just okay.
No choice.
Yep. Yeah. We have a week.
Crunch time.
Yeah. So
what made you want to go into that particular field?
Definitely video games have always been part of my life.
Yeah.
I've always been very creative. I've always liked storytelling, story writing, being very oriented towards that piece where I'm providing something for somebody to enjoy that it comes down to. I wrote a novel a few years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
So stuff like that. I love putting my creative brain out there, and I feel I by no means I have a unique brain, but I feel my brain is hyperactive on that end. So that was kind of a combining a lot of things that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
With things that I wanted to test out, and also I think I wanted to challenge myself because I've never been an artist per se when it came to visual. And this was a big challenge for me because it definitely came down to I had people in classes where it's just oh, you've been drawing
since you were 2.
Yeah, for 25 years, and you're a master at it. Yeah. And what they would do in an hour would take me 3 or 4 days. And I definitely put myself in the situation of, okay, you wanted this, you have to do it, you have to work at it. And I ended up being valedictorian and having
amazing.
8 different course director awards that the course director would give out the award to whoever. So I was very proud of it for the sake of, even though I was challenged to do something that I've never done in my life and that I thought I was really bad at, I was I have to power through this and I have to make it happen because this is what I want. So
right. Yeah. Oh, I love it. So you did fine tune your artistic creative skills.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely came to fruition more on the 3D side, not on the 2D side. The 2D side is still a little off, and I still can achieve some things that I like. It does come down to, if it comes to work, I am not an artist that could work because nobody's going to hire you for oh, this is something that you have to do in a day and it's going to take you 3 weeks. I'm not paying you 3 weeks for this. So it definitely came back to more of a hobby thing, which is
we're not meant to do all things.
Yeah.
When I was maybe early 20s, I had a moment where I was in between jobs, and I came across this guy that had a handyman truck, super branded, kind of before they did that on the trucks.
Yeah.
at a gas station or something. And I don't know, I was looking at my car. We had a conversation, we connected. Then I was like, hey, do you ever like need extra help? You know, like I'm kind of in between jobs right now. Like I could use some cash. And he was like, yeah, I'm painting this house. You know, like we could definitely use help with that. And so I went to this house, I painted. Gosh, I was there a couple days in a row, like the trim, right? Mm-hmm. Not a fan of it. We'll never do it again. But it was perfect, I'll tell you that. But like the trim and like the paint and all that stuff. And then like at the end of it, he like paid me and he was like, hey, he's like, you did great work. He's like, but you took way too long. He's like, I can't afford to have you like on another project. He's like, we'll never get done. He's like, but you did fantastic. And I'm like, thanks, because that's how I felt. But like, yeah, we're not meant to do all things.
I did painting for a little bit too. So for like 6 months or so, a friend who had a company here, and it was fun, but I definitely like after, I think we ended up painting like 6 or 8 houses, interior and exterior. And at the end, I'm like, you know what? This is
not for me.
It's just like good experience.
Yeah.
Fun thing to have done. It was a company that a friend ran. Like, so it was fun to be with them. Kind of like, it felt more like, okay, we're just doing stuff together. We're not. I'm not.
Turn
you're not
music, you're jamming out.
You're not my boss. He never like had any complaints. He never had anything like odd to say. So I was always like, okay, you're doing a good job. Do the stuff. Paint whatever you need. Like whatever we're doing that day, and that's it. So. Right. It was interesting, but I'll probably never go back to it.
But you know, we don't know things until you try them, right? That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So from school, like when you went to Full Sail, so did you work a little bit in the industry?
Yeah. So I as soon as we graduated, we started a project with some friends from school, and it was basically creating a skee ball game.
Nice.
On digital, because these people had some sort of a marketing company, and they were bringing in some like tactile screens, booths. It was a weird thing, but they wanted to promote businesses by doing coupon stuff and having those games be kind of like the way that people interacted with those. So if you won the game, you got a coupon for like, I don't know, Walmart, whatever it may have been.
Yeah, whatever was the drive.
And that contract went a little poorly. Needless to say, these people did not treat us very well. They ended up owing us a lot of money. So kind of like started me in the industry with a little burn. And then I worked on freelance jobs here and there. I worked for a VR setup, creating just like models, like small models of things. I worked for another couple small pieces here and there, but then I realized that the gaming industry, which is where I wanted to get into, was starting to like leave the US. They started kind of like hiring out to India, Russia, you name it, everybody outside, which it's insane because I've seen the quality of work, and it's just, these people are veterans, like 20 years of experience in these modalities, and they charge 10% of what you do. So I as a business person, I'm like, I get it. I understand.
In the industry, it's a little painful.
Yeah. And it definitely has walked away a little bit from what video games used to be, which is, this is an artistic expression. And it became, okay, a moneymaker.
Yeah. Who can get out the next level, like the fastest, and like all of the levels that they charge for now. But it is a, what, I don't even know the number, but I'm sure multi-million-dollar, if not billion-dollar.
No, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry right now, and I don't want to exaggerate, but I'm pretty sure it's closer to like the $40-50 billion industry at this point. It's just insane. Yeah. It just outgrew itself, and
it keeps growing.
Yeah, and it unfortunately brought people that the only thing they see is the dollar sign behind it, and those are the type of like CEOs that want to charge per like interaction in games, and you're like, dude, it's almost like you tell me that you're going to charge me per line that I read on a book. Right. It's just like, that's not how this works. You give me the product, thank you, have a nice day, that's it.
Yeah, you should still be able to have the experience.
Yes.
Without paying into it, you know? Otherwise,
And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of industries have gone that route where everything has to be like, okay, let me see how much I can like fraction this whole thing so I can keep charging you every step of the way, which
again, as a business owner, we get.
But it definitely has turned into a very unrealistic thing. And I started to debate if a lot of these like business-minded business owners, CEOs, it's like, you have no idea how business works. Because if you knew a little bit more on the psychological side of things, how humans behave, how people connect, how people interact with product, the more you give people, the more loyal they'll be to your product. So if tomorrow you have to raise your prices by $2, $3, $5, whatever it is, or create a subscription, people are going to be like, hell yeah, I love these people. I've always had, like I don't mind giving them an extra $10 every month. So that's the part where everything now has converted into a 3-month like get rich scheme. And I'm a capitalist at heart. That's why I have a business. But I don't think people understand that I'd much rather have you as a client or have you as a customer for 10, 15 years than try to get as much money out of you in 6 months. And then you're going to get pissed at me because I did something stupid, which is going to happen. And then you get dropped immediately because I don't see this being a long-term partnership.
It's really big on that. I've built my business entirely on relationships. It's either been people that I know that have referred me to someone, or people that I have met directly, like in person, networking and things like that I have established a relationship with. And it really is about like the service, right? And who you work with. Now, not everybody cares about that. Like different people value different things, right? But I want to align myself, and I want to work with the people that value the same things that I do. And that relationship is definitely huge.
Yeah. And that's actually like, I've had conversations recently with some clients, and I feel like humanity has gotten like very disconnected. And I think we're like very self-centered, very like, you want to put up your walls, and I get it. We're all going through stuff. We're all going through problems. Everything is a complication every 2 minutes. I totally understand, but I refuse to like live my life just looking out for me only and looking to see how I can make the most profit or how I can make the most money. So I've had multiple partnerships with people where I'm like, hey, dude, let's get this rolling. Let's see where it goes. And just pay as you go. We'll be like, as long as we're both comfortable in the situation. And I feel like it's the same for anything, like romantic relationships, friendships, like the relationship with your family, whatever it may be. You have to get to that point. Yes, you have to look out for yourself. You have to be sometimes a little bit selfish, but at the same time, we're meant to be social creatures. We're meant to like connect with people. We're meant to really make sure that everybody's benefiting, and not just like, okay, let's make sure that I make the most money and stomp on everybody that I can so I can be happy, because you're not going to be happy. If everything that you're doing is just backstabbing people, you're probably going to get paranoid that somebody's going to come after you next. So
that's why there are so many like unhappy rich people. Like they can buy things materialistic and they can in the moment, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of them that are not happy because they're chasing that one thing instead of like the people around. Simon Sinek like did an awesome like explanation of how much we're tribal beings, right? It was like, okay, so here in Colorado, like, there's people downstairs. I don't know them, right? And I'm not gonna necessarily walk up to them. I have sometimes, but it's not like super common, right? Or they may not be approaching of that. But if we then say like we're on a train or something like that, right, in Georgia, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, you find out that the person's from Colorado, and you're like, oh, you're from Colorado? Like, I'm from Colorado? Oh my gosh. And then immediately you like connect, right? And then you take it outside of that, and then you go like overseas somewhere, and it doesn't matter what state they're from, but you meet somebody that's like from the US, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, you're US? Me too, right? All of a sudden like you connect. So we naturally like flock towards people that we align with, right? People that we connect with, that people that we're like, but at the end of it, people. That's the common factor.
And you even see it with people that are like extreme introverts. Like at one point they're like, I need to go talk to somebody, because it does happen. I think it's just like a natural part of us. Yeah.
You're extroverted too?
Yeah, I'm like excessively. It's painful. I noticed, this is like probably like TMI, but I noticed that if I don't go out, I start getting depressed after like 2 days, and I'm just like, I need to talk to somebody. I need to go like see somebody walking around, because otherwise I'm just gonna lose it.
Yeah, 100%. That's part of why I work from coffee shops, because I'm the same.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't realize that for a long time, because you're, especially when you're building the business. Now I've been in business 8 years, so building it in the beginning, it was just like, oh, your grind, like just get done what you got to get done as fast as you can. And in the last couple of years, I've recognized that I would go an entire day without talking to people. Like you're at home, like you start working, and then by the end of it, you didn't leave home. Sometimes I might get lucky and be on a Zoom call with someone and at least have like some face-to-face, but it's not the same as in person. And it has changed my productivity so much just to be around other people. I don't have to talk to them. Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
But just being in the space and like hearing, like just having people like around the space, like just makes me so much more motivated to work than being at home cooped up myself.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah. I started this business basically on a coffee shop. So,
yeah.
There was a coffee shop close to where we are right now, and I was there for like 6, 8, sometimes 10 hours a day. I would go get a coffee every like 2-3 hours. I would just like making sure that, and I was eating, like snacking here and there. So it wasn't that I just came in, had a coffee early in the morning, and then I was there writing it out for like 8 hours, because I understand, again, it's a business, so they have to run too. But that was, I couldn't see it any other way that I wouldn't be starting something in my garage by myself and then come out a year later be like, I did it. It's like, no, I need people.
Right. Absolutely. And the coffee shops too, like it's so hard. I love checking out like different coffee shops, but sometimes I'm like, I'm going to be working for like a good block of time, like 4-6 hours minimum.
Yeah.
And a lot of times if I can, like full 8 hours and stuff. So trying to find coffee shops that are open late.
Yes.
And then I'll be there. I'm going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner and some coffee. But apparently the rest of the world doesn't like to drink coffee so much after like 2 or 3, because a lot of places close early.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now what do I do? Like hop around. So funny enough, there's some places that I've been to where like the coffee shop's close to early. So then I'll go work out of like a hotel, like lobby.
Okay.
Like especially like some of the higher hotels, like they have like usually a little cafe inside there. Then there's seating, and then there's still like people walking around and things like that. So like I've done that too, which has been interesting. Around here, Fort Collins, like y'all are amazing, because you have like there's one up the street that's open till midnight, I think. Alley Cat.
Yes, they used to be 24/7.
Really?
Yes, I was there for a very long time. That used to be like my hangout place.
Your open office.
Yeah, but it's odd. Like there's definitely like the dynamic shift between like 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. There's like the coffee shop. It definitely becomes this like portal to another dimension. It's
almost
odd.
like a speakeasy at that point.
Yeah.
Like it turns into its own thing. Interestingly enough too, that there's been a few coffee shops that I found one a couple weeks ago, Rise and Vine, down like South Fort Collins. That's like coffee, and then they start serving wine at like 4 or 5 or whatever. So you could like start and end your day there. So it's a good use of it.
Nice.
But yeah, coffee shops have always been like really a good space for me to just feel creative and kind of like experiment that. You said you started your business in a coffee shop. So from when you were doing in the industry, like with your design skills and all that stuff, what did you do after that? Did you jump immediately into the business that you're in now?
No.
Or
So after like 2 years of trying to get in the industry somehow, I went back to old roots. So when I lived in Argentina, I went to culinary school. I worked
in a different way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I worked in that industry on and off for a few years back home, and I had my own catering business for a while. I came here. I didn't want to like get back into kitchens, but it was something like I have the skills. It's an easy, quote unquote, job to get into. They're easy to get into. It's really hard to stay in. So I was in the industry here in town for about 3 years. For better or for worse, I did almost like sous chef work in a place. I did kitchen lead in another. I had the experience and I had the drive, and it's an exciting work for sure.
Yeah.
It is definitely like you'll burn out so quick, especially if you're doing 12, 14 hours a day. Don't recommend it. But definitely got to a point where I'm like, I can't, like this industry's killing me.
Yeah.
This is being on your feet for anything over 5 hours is already a nightmare. And I remember one of my longest days was like 17 hours.
That's a long
I got there
time.
at like 4 a.m. and left at like 9:30 p.m. So I was told to like, yeah, you can just go take a break, because I like the last hour I was just like just I couldn't, like I didn't have energy anymore, even though I
Your body
ate.
said, that's enough.
Yes. So when that happens, I just did the odd job here and there. That's when I did painting. That's when I did Lyft and Uber, just because I needed to like do something. And I started reading quite a bit, and I wanted to write. I always had that. I was good at poetry and prose and putting words together. And for me, it was definitely like an emotional outlet, just putting stuff out there, making sure that nobody read anything ever, and I don't care. Like I did it for me. I did it as almost like journaling. So I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I really enjoy this whole piece of like writing stories, telling stories, and I've always been very, as you can see, I love talking, apparently. So.
This is great for a podcast. Keep going.
So telling stories and things like that, and even things that happen to me, I always find a way to make it enticing. It's not like embellishing or beautifying anything. It's just like making sure that the sentences are put together in a way where like it catches people's attention. It's not just like, yeah, I went and then I had a car crash and that's it. It's just like, to me, that's boring.
Yeah.
I just don't, that's not how my brain works. So,
yeah.
And I started thinking about writing a short story. So I looked into these contests at the time for a science fiction magazine that publishes twice a year, that they would take stories from like 7,000 words to like 12,000 words. They would rather much have the shorter end. And I'm like, that seems so doable.
Right.
I started writing something and I realized that like, you suck at this. Like, this is horrible. And I found myself in a creative process that it was creating and editing at the same time. And if anybody out there wants to like write, just write, fix it later.
Yeah.
Make it appear, and then later you can come back. And if you go on that weird loop, you're never getting ahead of yourself. You're gonna always be working in the first two like chapters.
Yeah, it's like if you think it's you have to have it perfect the first time. Like that sentence will never get written.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I realized that I hadn't read that much, and I was never a reader, because back home the school reading was like depressing stuff and very like dark things. That's very common for like Hispanic, like South American writers. They're all writing about like very dark things.
Yeah.
At least the famous ones. So that's all I read. And I'm like, if this is what reading is about, I don't want to read it. But then I got really caught by a book that I loved. I read it in like 3 days, and I thought that I could never read this fast.
What was the book?
Ready Player One. It came in like a box of merchandise and stuff, and I'm like, oh, a book, sure, whatever. I put it on the side, and then one day I started reading, and I'm like, I can't stop reading this. I'm like up at like 1 a.m. just like going through the pages.
Like, what happens next?
Yeah.
The original binging.
Yes. And then that year I read like 50 books. I was like, okay, I'm going at it. When I realized that I didn't have the backbone of writing, because I don't have any education, any background. English is my second language, and that's what I was writing on. So it was kind of like, okay, I need to like educate myself. I need to like grow into this. I cannot just be like, oh, I'm gonna like make this magically appear. basically those books got me to the point where I felt confident to put something together, a little more like structure, something that somebody could read and not be like, who's this 3-year-old? So I ended up writing a full science fiction novel after about like 8 months, and the baby's still in diapers somewhere. I haven't published it. I haven't done anything with it. No,
I put it out there.
So I did it in the stage where I feel like the book industry was still like very much driven by publishers. Where I had a conversation recently with somebody who's a prolific writer. He has like 3 like New York bestsellers, like big writer here in town, and he told me, it's like, you have to publish it. Now publishers do not look if the content is good. They want to know if things kind of like move along first. If any interest, they'll pick it up.
Right.
But if it's something that is like dead on arrival, they rather not pay you $30,000 to figure that out first.
Right.
So I'm still on that boat where like I do want to publish. I definitely have 1,000 more things to go.
Just publish it. You put it out there. You can always come out with a version 2 or a rework. You know what's funny though? It's because you wrote it before AI is out. No one's going to believe that you didn't use AI if it's good.
Well, if people want to believe that, then go ahead. I'm pretty sure it's riddled with grammar errors and sentences that don't make sense, because I definitely am a storyteller. I'm not a writer by any means of like, oh yeah, this is how that you make this more enticing. I'm like, whatever comes out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
Right. What happens, happens.
Yeah. And one of the things that really got me excited about it is I've always been highly critical of anything that I've done, artistically more so, because I feel like I have the vision. I know where I want to go, and I know how to put things down. And this is the first time in my life that I finished something and I read it and I'm like, actually, I really enjoyed the story. I like the characters. I like how things flow. It's hopefully not too cheesy or like too like odd or whatever. Yeah, it is like in some parts like hard science fiction. So it's one of those like I go into like world building and things a little bit deep, but I'm like, there's eyes for everything in this world. Like there's people that write smut that it's still like a step close to like pornography, and people are like, wow, this is a fantastic book, and then that's it. So there are eyes for everything. So I'm like, you know what, this is, if somebody will like it, they'll like it. If not, I'm proud that I was able to put almost a year worth of work into something that it's tangible. So,
and to take the idea of whatever your storyline was to develop it so that it's a full-fledged arc of a story, which is beautiful. Which I'm sure probably helps too. I mean, because you did a lot of, like you said, the gaming and stuff when you were younger. So like a lot of that storytelling too. Like helps.
Yeah, and it's always like, I remember one of my portfolio pieces was like a weird science fiction kind of like hallway, and then I started adding details. And I think like what you mentioned earlier with your son about like this, like adding stuff that is just like, this creates a story. There's a scratch on the wall. What does that scratch mean?
Right. Where did that come from?
There's a paragraph of things here that make sense, but there's some gibberish at the bottom that is just like, any other person will be like, okay, that's gibberish. This is something I can understand. For me, it's like, what is that? Did whoever was here, it's fictional, but whoever was here wrote this for a reason. A moment of lucid think, whatever it may have been. Like, so to me, that's always been very interesting.
And, like the mystery of like what that direction came from. That's part of why I was pretty, well, I don't say upset. I loved the Final Destination movies. They're super gory. I have since watched them again, and I'm like, oh, girl, like what were you thinking? But one of the things that always stood out to me was like the relay of things, right? Like the drip of water, then like turns into a puddle, which then turns into this, and then this wire hits here, and then the spark, and then that knocks this thing, right? Like the whole like direction of it always fascinated me. It was like, how did they think of that, right? The guy's sitting there like, I wonder what happens if water, like just the way that the story, because they could have just done, this crazy thing falls into the kid's mouth or whatever, like chokes him out, right? That could have been it. And that alone would have been like, oh my gosh, like, and create this fear like that everyone has. But yet they thought about like the showing the process behind like that particular moment, which was like so twisted.
Well, it's like almost like not very similar, but like butterfly effect. Is that whole concept that you changed this minor thing and it just created this insane outcome.
Yeah.
And I think those to me is like thinking about things like that, how like every action has a consequence, has an effect. It's, I don't know, it's always been fun to me, and I definitely have gone into like way too many rabbit holes at this point in my life. So yeah.
I'm there with you though, because I wonder, like, there's like, even small decisions in a moment, like, what changed the trajectory of your life, like based off of that one moment or that one interaction, things like that. Yeah. And then on a like deeper level, like even being in business, the amount of times that I've evolved as a business owner because of different interactions, because of people that I've met, or like things that have happened, or moments in time, that have really anchored and made me like think differently or see differently, right? I love that. Yeah. And you wouldn't get that unless you look at things from different angles and different perspectives, and take a moment to analyze it.
Yeah, it is definitely, I feel like it is a blessing and a curse, because you're, at least I am definitely an overthinker and a perfectionist. So I think the perfectionist side, we share that from what I've heard a little bit, just like always wanting to like give 120% and making sure that things are like, okay, this is the masterpiece, and there's a masterpiece every like 3 days, which is not realistic, but we learn how to like tone it down here and there.
Yeah.
But I think that learning process through like business, I think it's very important. I've definitely have hit 1,000 walls, and I will hit 1,000 more. Yeah. But it is really interesting because every single one has like, yes, if it's something bad, you're kind of like pissed at the moment or whatever it may be, but you're like, okay, this is going into a contract. This is going into like how you talk to people. This is going how you explain the service. This is going to, in some ways, going to seep into how you do business in the future. Yeah. And I think it's the same with life, like relationships. You go on a relationship with somebody for a certain amount of time, and something happens, and you're like, I'm never doing this again with this person, with any person. Yeah. Not just this person, with any person. And then that's like, okay, that's written down in your notebook and if you see the signs, you're like, no.
Yeah. No, what not to do.
Yes.
Elimination process. That's kind of what you do. But back to, you testing out different things. Yes. And I've done the same. It's like, you don't know until you try something.
Yes.
And you might think you love it, and then you do it for a living, and then you're like, no, not for me, right? I admire from a distance, but I'm not meant to be like in it, right? But you don't know that until you try it out.
I'm still down for because I still have ideas for other books in my head, and I started writing 2 more books. One is a shorter novella. The other one should be a full-size book, but I've had these ideas, and one thing that stuck to me very early is, I think it was Stephen King's said that he would get ideas, write them down on paper, just like the premise or a sentence or something that would like he would remember exactly what it was, and then let it go. Right. If the idea came back, then he could read that and kind of like start putting things together. Nice. But he never be like, oh, I have this great idea. Let me write it down and start writing the book right now. Even though he probably could, especially that man writes a book every like 3 months. I don't know how he does it, but
he has a lot of vivid dreams.
Yes. So I kind of like have had these stories stuck in my head for a very long time. And every time they come back, I can see the story still clear. Yeah. So I feel like that they're still there, and this would be definitely a good segue after business is done to be like, I'm just gonna like write for fun and maybe publish in the future, and then be a published author, and we'll see where that goes. But
I love that. Have you ever been to the Stanley Hotel?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I had the opportunity to go, I think last month. We went to Stanley Hotel, which is one of the hotels where Stephen King was inspired to write The Shining.
The Shining, yes.
The Shining. From a stay at the hotel. And like going there and like just hearing kind of like the story behind like where the inspiration came from, it was like something wild. Like he happened to be there on a night where they were like closing for the season and pretty much all the employees were gone. So it was like him and his wife in this like dark and very like creepy like hotel, and like one noise or one sound or different something else like triggered this idea that he had to like create the story of The Shining, which is really cool. So you can like go and get the tour of the hotel and stuff, which we did. But I feel like, you know, we've both found ourselves in this like creative space of being able to tell stories in like different ways too, which has been really cool. So when you went from writing, how did you get into the marketing worlds?
After a while, I realized that, okay, I have maybe not perfect, but I have a knack for like writing and doing this, putting stories together, putting content together. And I'm like, you know what? I've always been very interested in marketing because it's very psychological. It's knowing people. And I, for a lack of a better word, I think I know how people think most of the time. And I think you and I share that. Like, if you're in marketing and and if you're that deep into the marketing world, there is a moment where it's like, if you're not a people's person, you're not a marketing person.
Right.
You have to know how people act, interact, how people react to things, how things move, or how they entice somebody or how they make somebody exciting. So I think that piece has always been with me. And I basically just gave it a shot and was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to start applying to jobs in like the marketing industry. Even though I've been doing on and off like graphic design, a little bit of like web development for at least old school web development at the moment.
Right.
Help people here and there on and off with, they had business ideas and I kind of like, okay, you need this, this and that. So I was kind of like already doing part of the work.
Yeah.
Without a solid structure, more so this is what would connect with me as a customer. This is how you should at least start trying it. So I think I had like that kind of like shallow test of the industry.
Yeah.
And then I went into this company here in town. I worked with them for about 3 years. I did not like necessarily the way they ran things. But at that point, I think I had enough experience in the industry. And kind of like understanding verticals, understanding the different pieces. I educated myself a lot in that and kind of like started realizing that, first of all, I really enjoy the work. Second, I can be really good at this and I don't like how these people do their work. I want to like provide actual like solutions for people.
Like a perfectionist there too.
Yeah. And then I got let go because they were restructuring the whole company. They've been like downsizing for like 6 months at the moment. And the second I was let go, I'm like, you know what? This is the time. If it's not now, it's not going to be ever. So I just went in and like, I've done business before. I had a import export company back home. I had a catering business. I've been a insane person since I was like 15. So I've always been like, okay, how can this be turned into a business? So a little bit crazy on that end.
Definitely the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah. So it definitely got to a point where I just started looking for names that I liked, try to put ideas together and started from like a very, very raw piece of rock, just like chipping away, trying to like, I don't know, the concept of the David or where it's just like there was a man there, I just like broke the stone until that man came out. Like that situation. So it took me a little bit to kind of like get my footing and understanding exactly how I wanted to tell my story, how I wanted to like bring people in, how I wanted to help people. And through mistakes and things that I like and I didn't like and all that, I've been able to kind of like polish things to where they are right now.
Yeah. And because the business itself, as it evolves, is kind of like that chipping away too. Yeah. Right? Because I tried a bunch of different things too when I first started, and then like slowly but surely you figure out like, no, this doesn't work, but this does. I really like this. Let me like focus in on that. But the chipping away, is that why your business is called Obsidian?
No, so I really like Greek mythology. And I wanted to.
This is weird, but go ahead. I'll explain after.
And I wanted to have something to do with mythology, and I was looking into gods and all that. Hermes is the messenger god, so I'm like, okay, you know what? Hermes could be a really good idea. And then I looked at it online, and there's like 1 trillion companies named Hermes that do everything from like shoes all the way to like medicine. It doesn't like, there's no range for the word.
Yeah, the name has been utilized.
So I'm like, you know what? No, this doesn't work. Then I started looking a little bit deeper, and one of my concepts for this company is I wanted to be something that looked and felt luxurious without needing to spend $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month. Because I wanted to provide people like me and people like small business owners or medium business owners, like somebody who's like, yeah, you might have some of the budget, but you don't have Amazon's money to go in business and spend $1 million a month.
Right.
So give them the quality without having them basically, put a second mortgage on a house. Right. So an Obsidian is a rock that has always been on par with luxury and on par with like precious stones, but throughout history has had a big impact on tools.
Yeah.
So arrowheads, knives, it's been very utilitarian. Like it's been very like used for a lot of different things. And I like the idea of like, this looks really good if you put it on jewels. This also works really well if you use it as a tool.
Right.
So it had that double. It's
pretty and useful.
Yes, like me, you know.
I love it.
But and then to connect it back to like the Greek mythology, Atlas is the titan that holds the world for other people, and I feel like that's what marketing is. You're holding a platform for that company to make something of themselves, and then you guide them through it. So. Definitely a different story, just because the Atlas is cursed to be there. Like it's trapped in that position. For me, it's more like, let me build this world for you so you can go out and do this for your customers or clients. So that's where I kind of like connected it. It's super weird, super odd. And some people have like always been like, what, this doesn't yell marketing to me. And I'm like, that wasn't the reason why I did it.
Listen, it's our story. It's funny enough though, but so my company name is Iris.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always loved Greek mythology as well. And so Iris, in some of the stories, is the messenger to the gods.
Okay.
She would like travel down the rainbow and stuff and like bring the message from like the Olympian gods to the people. And so that's why I went with that direction for my business, was the same thing. Hermes was like everywhere. Yeah. But Iris is kind of like the untold story, right? Because she was like the female version of Hermes and stuff. So like I took that, and that's why my business name was that. And that's why if you like look back, like some of my old my old logos were like that papyrus like font, which like looked very like Greek style, you know, like it went all out. So now, you know, we're still Iris and still is the messaging and stuff, but it does fine tune like as you go, right? Yeah. So that's the way I look at it. Like, we give people the platform to really tell their message like to the world.
Yeah. And to me, it's still exciting because I've been given the opportunity with some people that had no means of like getting into what they wanted to do, and then you help them out, and then 6 months, a year down the line, you look at what they're doing, and you're like, I had something to do with that. Yeah. And it's not about like being like self-centered or just trying to be pompous about it. It's like, it is exciting for me, and it makes me really happy when somebody's succeeding. It is that, maybe a little bit of, what's the word? Kind of like helping others sometimes that you don't help yourself kind of situation, like people pleasing. Yeah. I've definitely that's another thing, like personally, how to grow with the business as an individual as well. Like that was a big piece of it, where at the beginning I'm like, I'm just gonna do everything for you, and I'm like, no, we're working together. We're doing this together. So
I feel like it's a hard thing though, like if you're a caring person to own that business, because a lot of the services that I do now have developed because I had a relationship with somebody, like we came up with an idea or a direction or whatever, and then they're like, well, how do I do it? And I'm like, all right, I'll do it for you. Right. And it wasn't necessarily like things that I set out to do. It's just kind of things that like I fell into that I could figure out, and that I was creative, and then I could, do the graphics or the videos or whatever. But it was all almost like for that people pleasing stuff. Yeah. Like, you know what? Like instead of being like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to figure it out. Like, we're going to get this done.
I'll study for 2 weeks to like make sure that I'm giving you exactly what
I'm going to learn this new tool and we're going to do it. But it's a great thing for my clients, but sometimes the business side of it.
When you realize that you're working until 2 a.m. for the third night, you're like, I might need to like reorient certain things because this is probably too much.
This is why we live on coffee.
Yeah. That's why either a coffee or a Red Bull at 10 p.m. is not a bad idea for me.
Right, because at least you got a couple more hours.
Yes.
So now we'll go back to the marketing stuff in a bit, because I definitely want you to be able to talk about all of the things that you do. But so on that side of it, do you have a hard time walking away from the business?
Yes. And
like giving yourself time for yourself.
Absolutely. But I've this, I feel in some way I've always been kind of like a workaholic. And mine has been an odd situation, because I feel like a lot of people that are workaholics have a really good job, and that pays really well, and that makes them money, and that's what keeps you like in the race. You're like, okay, if I stay another 2 hours, I'm making another $200, and things are moving, and like I'm buying a house, whatever. For me has been like, I really like this idea. I enjoy this. I like working. I like things, like seeing the things like develop and growing and whatnot. Not every time it turned into the money aspect of things, which is unfortunately, yes. But it I think I know that things pay off, and this has been my sacrifice for sure. Like I slept in a car at the beginning of my business because that's what I had to do. Yes, I had family close by, and they told me at one point, it's like, are you stupid? Like, why would you sleep in a car? There's an empty room here. I'm like, I don't want to bother anybody. I want to get it done. And it's not about like, oh, I built this by myself, because that's a lie. Anybody who tells you that, it's a lie. You're always going to have somebody who helps you out.
Yeah.
But I do believe that I've always had that, like, I don't want to like pester anybody. I don't want to like bother. Like if I go down, I go down by myself. It's like, it is my ship. And if it sinks, I'm going down with it. And like, I'll learn my life lesson from it.
Yeah.
Has it pushed things back in my life? Absolutely. Has it created other problems that I not regret, but that I wish would have turned differently? Absolutely. But I think it's just like part of life.
Yeah.
By no means what we do is easy, but there are other hard things in life too. Like I read this recently, and it had to do more with like working out. And it's an image of somebody who's like overweight and somebody who's like sweating in a gym. And then it's like, you choose your health.
Yeah.
So you're either going to like bust your ass at the gym, and everything's going to hurt, things are going to be sore, and you're going to be like on the healthier side, but you're going to have to work hard on it, or you're going to be unhealthy and
struggle and spend time.
Yeah. So it is like, I feel like everything has its like
choose
hell.
Your hard.
Yeah. There are aspects of hell, but if we're in this world to like avoid hell, we're not, like, you're not gonna have a fun time. Everything has its hard, like,
it's true
perspective.
Which is why it's so important to do the things that you love and to be around the people that you enjoy being around, right down to like clients. Because I know, like, I think we aligned in this too, but people have asked me a lot, like, oh, what's your niche? Like, what kind of, I'm like, it's never been about industry for me. It's been about the person.
Yeah.
It's been about the person, and if I connect with them, and then I feel that they, at their heart, their value is providing the best possible service to their clients, regardless of what they do. Like that's a fit for me, right? And not everybody's like that. Like you said before, people chase different things, right? Like you want to make the most profit. If your goal is to make $10 million in the next, year, because you just want to, knock that or sell that much product or whatever. But if it's about the number, you and I are probably never going to align, right? Because to me, it's about the experience.
And I think, it comes down to, yes, that might be the goal, but if you have like a good backbone for it, then it's just like, okay, I can help you with that. But it's just like, okay, my business consists in like screwing as many people as possible. And I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And for that reason, I'm out.
You can probably find somebody out there who will go down in this like pyramid scheme with you, but I just can't do it.
And there's a purpose and there's a place for all sorts of businesses and products and services and stuff, but we just choose to work with the kind of people that align with our values. Right. And the way that I do business is the way that I want my client to also do business. Then I know that who I'm representing is like an extension of like how I would do service if I was doing
and I've told people recently, some new businesses that have come in, and this is one of the reasons why I offer this, but I offer the possibility of like, okay, this is a lot of money to like throw out just out of the gate. Are you comfortable paying that in a year? Okay, let's do it. I'm here to create that connection and that relationship with somebody, because I'd rather have 10 businesses that want to work with me and that we match and that we work together well, and that we can sit down and have a beer together, and that we can like, if you have a party at your house and you're inviting a bunch of people and I could be there because you're happy to have me there, and not be like, oh no, that's the weird guy that does my marketing. It's like, no, that's not what I want. I want to create that connection. I want to create my small family, because the more I see how things have been going in the last few years, I'd much rather be comfortable with people around me than just watching my back. Because somebody's gonna come after me. Like it's just like an odd situation, but it for sure is. I'd much rather help people, and in return, making money and growing and being able to like travel, whatever it may be that I want to spend my money on. Then sure, if that happens, great. I do like to create that space first where we can both grow, instead of being like, okay, I'm gonna be the only one up there.
And I think you mentioned it before, it's a partnership. Right, that we have with our clients. It's not just a like, hey, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm throwing at you, and no cookie cutter stuff here, guys. No cookie cutter. But it's more about like a best representation of them, and really having that that partnership where we're discussing. Like one of my favorite things is the meetings that I have with my clients, right? If I could just do that all day long, like, that'd be great. The actual technical, like having to do is time cumbersome sometimes, but like the strategy sessions, right? Like, so I just had a client that went to his daughter's in Scouts of America, right? And they had this camp experience. They were like 2 weeks in the woods or something. And so like we spoke before, and I was like, okay, so he's in philanthropy, so he's a philanthropic advisor, right? So we were speaking before, and I was like, okay, so while you're out there, think content, right? So like think of like capturing moments, right? You're gonna capture maybe like a leader speaking to like one of the scouts, or like something that you see, right? And so we're like strategizing like real time, be like, okay, so like how do you want to represent the company, right? This is the kind of things that you love while you're out there, and like the moments to take visuals from, and then I will turn that into then the content direction and the lessons, right? But with your visuals. And like what he sent back was even more beautiful. So then we met afterwards, and I was like, this is great, because it was a lot of there was no people. And it was more like scenic things, right? So there was like a bench that he saw that to him meant like, there was like all these like plaques on the bench, and then he started thinking like, what makes someone like end up with a plaque on a bench, right? Like, what do you have to do, or like, how do you have to be loved or remembered, or impact that you made in order, right? So then that turned into like a whole lesson, but it was real time, like in the moment of like what he actually thought. But like, if we didn't have that kind of relationship where he trusted to be like vulnerable and like tell me like these things, we're like, oh, I took this picture of like, this bench because it made me think of that. Or, I took a picture of this like pathway because in that moment I was wondering, like, am I going in the right direction or not, or whatever, right? But those magical moments that he's able to share because we have that relationship then makes it so much easier for me to be like, oh my gosh, this is the lesson.
Yeah.
And then I translate that into like, this is ties exactly into who you are and why you do what you do. Right. And then we like put that out there. But yeah, having those conversations, like those strategy, like those just relationship, like touches where it's just like, hey, how's it going? Like, what's going on in your life right now? Like, what's going on in your business? What do you like? What do you don't like?
Yeah.
You have a good, all of those things matter. And that's part of why I do what I do. Like, I've never worked with anyone that I've not met and had a connection with. And I don't know how I would act if like someone just like cold called me and, and said, hey, I want to do your marketing. I don't know that would be, that would be weird.
I had a really hard time at the beginning because that was like a lot of people in networking events, people who've been doing business for 20 years. It's like, yeah, you got to like reach and reach and reach and reach. And I'm like, I don't like, I've shot myself in the foot so many times and I've lost business so many times because I am not that pushy seller. I know how to, I can sell you a glass of water inside a pool. Like that's not my goal in life. I hate selling for the sake of like, okay, sign this so I can make the money. It's like, if I don't see it being beneficial to you, and I've had clients where it's just like, this is exactly what I want to do. And I'm like, that's not what you need to do first. But if they insist, I'm like, I'll agree to do this for a little bit, just so you realize that this is not what you have to do. And I've lost clients because of that, because some people are like, oh, I don't want you to tell me what you want, like what I need to or not need to do. It's like, okay, then I'm not your person.
Then we're not a good fit.
Yeah. So I still try to like, yes, marketing has gotten such a bad rep for the last like decade or so, maybe even longer, because there are a lot of snake oil people. There's just like, oh, this is going to cure all your disease and this is going to get you healthy and this is going to make you stronger. And then what they do is just sell you that package because that's the package that they are meant to sell. And that's the package that makes them more money. And that's how it works. I try to, sometimes it is more expensive. Sometimes it makes it cheaper, but whatever the approach, I'm trying to do the approach in a way where I need you to understand that this, first of all, is a slow process. No company grows in 6 months unless you have the capital behind it. And maybe the right connections too.
An actual miracle product.
Or you, you came up with a product that is just like, it's so insane for people to like not see it. So it comes down to that comes back to my perspective of, I want to create this relationship because I know this relationship will take time, period. There is no other approach. There is no other way to do it. You have to have your business run on a certain block for a while until you're ready to move that to another block and then keep pushing forward. And if you don't have the foundations, you are not going to make it, or it's going to be way harder to make it. And that's where people get frustrated. That's where people like give up on business, that it's just your foundation. And that, like, for us, it would be like having a solid presence, having the right material, like having a website, having all this stuff. Yes, it sounds like, oh yeah, maybe you guys are all trying to sell. It's like these like big blocks of things. It's part of the cost of doing business. Unfortunately, like if I sell shirts and all I do is just have a shirt on my hand and walk around town, there might be one person who like buys you a shirt because, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, you made it yourself? Sure, I'll get one. But if you don't have a way to like expose yourself, you don't have a way to like tell people what you do, or like maybe present your message or show why are you doing this, you're cutting yourself out because everybody else is doing it. Some people are doing it for the wrong reasons. Some people are doing it poorly, but sometimes just doing it is more important than not doing it. And that's where I have these hard conversations with people where this is like, if I could do this for free, that would be fun. I like the thought about it, like thinking about it, putting things together, making plans, strategizing with people. I love doing that.
But bills got to get paid.
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm not a robot.
Coffee
and I need
is
to
not free.
Exactly. So it definitely comes down to finding, and I'm still tinkering and I'm still polishing the way that I speak to people, because I try to be as clear as possible without trying to like shoot myself as much, because I tend to say it a lot. And if I'm not like, if my services are not going to get you anywhere, I'm not going to be like, I'm still going to try to sign you on something. It's like, no. So if it's like, okay, I might have lost a couple $1,000s in there because I told him, it's like, that's not what is going to help you out. I've seen this a lot of times where it's like, this is not what's going to get you there. This is what's going to get you there. Like, box A, no. Box B, yes. And they're like, no, but I want box A. And I'm like, I don't feel like that's going to be it. But if you want to do it with somebody else, great. And then they go do it with somebody else. And then they realize 6 months down the road that that was just not it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of, and this is really interesting in our world, small business owners usually do not come back to be like, I was wrong, let's do whatever you. They're like, okay, I'm gonna eat this pride, and then never say anything, and then just burn that money, and like that was a mistake, and I'll never repeat it, but
they'll move on to the next one.
I'll take this to the tube.
I have learned that as well. Like, most people won't come back and be like, you know what, you were right.
And it is a hard thing to do when you're running a business and you rely on that money. You rely on providing the services because you have kids, you have family to take care of, you have like sick parents, whatever it may be. And this is what gets you through your day, week, month, year. It is really hard to make those decisions because every decision that you make can be your last in your business. But that's why people like us hopefully are there to kind of like guide you through the things that, there's no one solution fits everybody.
Definitely not.
But it's definitely, I think we've tried enough to know a little bit more about how things can like develop. Mm-hmm. And I've listened to people that are not in my industry that had really good things to say, and they've helped me with business. Because I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time, and I've had the idea of being a business owner for a very long time. I don't have the experience that everybody has. And I don't have the experience that a 40-year-old like career CEO has.
Exactly.
So it is checking that pride and that concept that you know it all when it comes to business at the door, and then come in with an open mind and make sure that you don't have to say yes and you don't have to agree to everything. But it's good to have that open mind to maybe there's something in there. There's a gold nugget hidden in all that pile of dirt. It's up to you to like grab it or let it go. So
100% agree with that. That's part of why I love like mastermind groups and things like that, right? Like when you're just like talking things out with people. And if anyone has ever considered joining one, but they're like, these people aren't in my industry, they wouldn't know. Like, trust me, like it's beneficial, because a challenge someone is having in another industry, you can still find, information like that's like relevant to yours, or it could spark something like, you know what, I hadn't considered this in my business. I think that's one of the things I love most about the marketing world is the constant like creativity. Like we're in, like, I have, whatever vulnerable moment, but I have like thought of walking away from marketing a few times in the last 8 years.
I think we all have.
For different reasons. And yet every time that that thought has crossed my mind of like, you know what am I doing? Like I could be, going in a different field. I'll have a conversation with someone or something, and my brain immediately thinks of like, oh, you started a business, you should be promoting it this way. Like, oh, you do this is how you should. Like, I literally can't help myself. Like, if I meet someone, I'm like, oh, have you thought of like recording yourself and like creating that? And that's great content. Like, it's just how my brain works. So like, why walk away from that? So I do love that part of it. I do love the strategizing and like the coming up with like the concept and the direction and things like that. So it, I'm still here, not going anywhere.
And I think it's definitely vocational. So there is a lot of like, and to me, it comes down to like that helping factor. But I think and it happens probably with everybody, unless you're like absolutely madly in love with the thing that you do, you're always going to have the days that I'm like, what am I doing? What? I could have been a realtor and maybe like sold 5 houses a year and then just make really good money out of it. And then, right. But then you realize that in those industries too, like you might have a knack for it. You might, but it won't probably bring you joy as much as the things that you're doing. So it is, I think it's for solopreneurship and like business ownership, it has its own like nightmare attached to it, but it also has its own like beauty.
Yeah.
So I think it is a delicate balance, and I like learning to handle that one first, so you can enjoy the business a little more. I think it's crucial. So
100%. You know that entrepreneur graph that someone came up with years ago. Best thing that has ever come out, where it's just like the peaks. It's like, oh, you started a business, like, yay, like I'm amazing, and then it's just like, oh, what was I thinking? I'm like, no, I'm going bankrupt. Like, no, everything's gonna be fine. Yeah. Like, you know, it's like, and that's like a day to day, like the day in the life of an entrepreneur is kind of how it works. So I was like, that's 100% accurate in like the moments of being a business owner.
I love the other one too. That it's just like I quit my 40-hour-a-week job making $100,000 a year, so I could work 80 hours a week to make half of the money.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah. Where it's just like,
and it's like, yay! I'm excited for that.
I do feel like the potentials are way different. Like, and that comes down to like the sacrifices you make at first. And this is something that I read recently where I'm pretty sure the numbers are not exactly as they were showing, but it's like 80% of millionaires around the world, and not to make this about money, but are entrepreneurs, are business owners.
Yeah.
10% are like athletes, and the other percent is like people in the arts, like movies and musicians and whatnot. And then they say employees is like 0%. I know that that's not the case, but it does reflect a little bit on the whole concept of like, if you want, this is the most control you're gonna always have on your life, is doing something that, first of all, that you love, and on top of that, if you have the reins of where this goes, doesn't have to be a business. It could be like being a writer and then writing your own stuff and publishing and then seeing where it goes. I do believe that that's by far the best way to get to the places that you want to go. Make sure that you have the control of it, because this happened to me in the last couple of years. I don't want to be subjected to somebody having a bad day and be like, everybody's fired.
Yeah.
You're gone, and then spend 8 months of the year trying to find a job and then just struggling to like make it happen.
Yeah.
So
not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even those moments where I'm like, am I burnt out? Like, I'm done with this. I'm like, but I can't see myself working for someone else, like directly, like the freedom of being able to work how I work, when I work, and to provide the deliverables that I do is, you know, it's all on me. Sometimes it's a lot of pressure, but, but it's worth it.
Yeah. And I know that it is not for everybody. There's people that just like much rather listen to somebody, and it's not, there's no good or bad. It's just like, I'd rather be under somebody and that person guiding me through the work, and then I'm good at exactly putting this nail wherever it needs to go.
Yeah.
And then you tell me that I need to hammer it 10 times, and I'll go do that, and then I'll move to the next project.
Right.
I know that that's not me.
100%. Me too.
All the time.
Yeah.
So I can do it here and there. I can do a job. I can like, but definitely one of those that I'm like, especially.
I was gonna say, it is good that we're all different though.
Yes,
because you do need that person that's like ready to show up and just be like, I'm 9 to 5. I know exactly where I am. At 5 o'clock, I clock out, and then I'm done.
And we all shine differently. That's the thing. Is like my dad was a career man his entire life. He ended up having a business at the end of by the end of it, but he was always in companies, going from like the lowest job because he needed to learn and wanted to learn everything that entailed with the business until he got to like VP positions and like general management positions. So he knew everything that happened in the company, because that's the way he understood more how to like guide people. Yeah. It's like, I know exactly what happens in your job, so I will know that job by heart. So I can tell you in the future, if I see something off, I can tell you, it's like, this is how I solved it when it happened to me, or this is how I go about it. So yes, there is that, like, I've had people in my family that have been in the same company for 30 years. Yeah. And they're very successful and they're very much up there. I don't think I can do 30 years in a company.
Except for your own?
Yeah, maybe. My own, yes.
Because you can evolve it.
Yeah.
So on that note, because I noticed we're just chatting away here. We went over an hour, as we kind of thought we might. But so what services do you offer? If anyone's not been paying attention, his website's been scrolling across the bottom of the screen this whole time. So obsidianatlas.com. But yeah, like if you want to break down at least what people can work with you and how they could go about it.
So we like to consider this like an A to C solution. So if we have the opportunity, we like to start people with branding, kind of like determining what your company business looks like, what it feels like, how it can be shown to the public. Mm-hmm. So that all comes down to like branding, making sure that you have it's not just about logos and colors, it's about how you speak as a company, how you like present yourself, what's your ideal customer, things like that. And then from that point on, building those like blocks that create the foundation, which is like websites, developing all the content that you're going to have initially on your social media, the content that you're going to be writing on that website. If there's printables, then we have those, like the design team for that as well. And from there is maintenance and management, which could be as little as like creating content for social media or the website, fully managing a like a social presence, going into like advertisement, so paid advertisement for like Meta, Google, and any place that you see like that you might want to go. Mm-hmm. And also strategizing as a business, so almost like a partial CMO service, mm-hmm. where somebody can come in and be like, okay, from an outsider's perspective, this is the vision that I could see. And sometimes you come in and say, hey, have you considered this? Have you looked into that? I feel like your business could be really good for like this demographic or that demographic, or maybe your service, instead of being like, this is a one size fits all, like what if you break your business in like, let's sell A, let's sell B, and let's sell C. C is going to be for these people, B is going to be for that, and A is going to be like your daily stuff like that. So getting to sit down with the people, getting to know the business. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we take pride a lot is it's getting to know your business as much as you do. Mm-hmm. So I can actually reflect that in the content that goes out, in the social media that goes out, whatever it's, I want it to sound like you. I want it to be, yes, it's going to be marketing. It's going to be like still with my touch, because I feel like my approach psychologically and like written might have a different impact than when you say that, because that's how you've been saying it for 10 years.
Right.
But I think
sometimes your tagline shouldn't be your tagline anymore.
Sometimes you have to have whatever you do at the top of the homepage so people know exactly what you do, instead of being like, okay, you're going to help me save my life. How?
Right.
It's not about saving lives. It's like, what are you doing to like get that going? So I feel like there is a lot in the beginning point and the end point. There's mm-hmm. so many bridges, so many connections, so many bricks that need to be laid. Yeah. And we like to approach the whole thing. But like you asked earlier, the concept of like what I like the most, I feel like it's definitely that grounding, like that origination, that foundation setting. You can if you want to put an extra 20 hours of your week to like do content, everybody can do it. We're not rocket scientists.
No.
We just enjoy doing it. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people don't enjoy it, and that's why we have a job. It's because mm-hmm. nobody wants to go home and be like, oh, I'm going to spend an extra 20 hours instead of being with my kids doing marketing for my own company, because I already been in it for 60 hours this week. So mm-hmm. let's just like keep burning the candle on both ends. So
speaking of that, do you feel that, I have moments like that with my own marketing. Mm-hmm. I spend my day marketing for other people that it's sometimes so difficult for me to like switch it and then like spend mm-hmm. that additional 20 hours on my own stuff.
I think we have, I think everybody marketing has this issue, especially when we're like smaller. There is that constant problem, and I've seen it everywhere. Unless you have a team that you're like, okay, if you want to fill in time, do marketing for the company.
Yeah.
But you're going to be here for 40 hours this week, so might as well just put that time somewhere. But for us, it's like, okay, I still need to do work for this, and that client. So I'm the one who's last. So I will tell people to not judge this website as much. They can judge the other clients.
Do as I do.
Yes.
What does that do as I say, not as I do.
It's like that.
But that's the purpose of it, right? It's not because we don't see it as effective or whatever the case is. Number one, a lot of times we are at capacity where we have the clientele that we need and want, because we are smaller. So it doesn't take us 500 clients, right? Like, I mean, I don't know for you, but for me it would be like, 20 clients is like,
I think that's ideal, a good number,
right? Yeah. Like good 20 like high quality clients. And so, but it's number one, it's the availability of like us having that 20 hours to do it for ourselves. And then two, also, this is a very creative space. And there's a lot of times where I'm like, I've used my best ideas, not used, like it's not like it regenerates.
Yes, yeah. You got to go to sleep to get something back.
Right. But sometimes it's like, I've been so creative, like for all clients and directions. And then it's almost like if you like hear a song and you're like, oh, that sounds familiar. Like that comes, and I don't ever want that to translate. Like everything that I do is customizable, customized. And that's what you do as well. And so, I never want to take those ideas and wash it out to anyone else. So it does make it difficult for us to keep up with our own stuff.
Well, and this has happened in the past that I've worked with in previous agencies that I worked in. I started looking at websites that I didn't know was their client. And then I'm like, this looks very familiar. And then I would look somewhere, it's like done by such and such company. And like, this is like, just here's your
cookie cutter.
Yeah, the same template, just different colors. Same template, different colors. Same template. And I'm like, I don't. And it comes down to like, okay, I understand where it comes from because some of these people have 10, 15,000 clients and you only have a certain amount of people and a certain amount of hours in the month to like get it all done. And like I've been in agencies where I had 80 clients to myself and I needed to touch every single account every single month. And it's not doable, just period. There is not enough time in the day to be creatively unique when you have 45 minutes to spend on somebody.
Right, no, definitely not.
So,
and I will say too, like I feel like if you focus too much on like one particular industry, like those companies, like there's only so many ways that you could explain HVAC service, for example, right? There's only so many ways that you could display it. That's why I love having the variety. Like, because I don't have any two clients that are exactly the same, right? They all have like different services and things like that.
And background stories too, because like you can talk to two HVAC people and one comes from like, oh, my dad had this business since he was like 20 and I took it over and then it's been in the family. And there's somebody who's like, I just realized that every time I went to a new apartment, the HVAC was broken and I learned how to fix it. And then I took the course and now I love doing it. And here we are.
Right.
Very two different like stories. One is like, okay, this has been in the family and we're HVAC people for life.
Yeah.
And this one is like, I really enjoy the work and I couldn't see myself doing anything else other than my own business. So
and then I had one HVAC guy that was like, I read the code books for fun. Like that's a whole different unique. Level, right? Like his work is like so meticulous and, like very craftsmanship style for like electrical work or whatever that he does for the HVAC system. But like that's his level. He's like the analytic part.
Yeah.
He's just like, I love learning about the systems and like what's available and what's not and what we can and can't do and all that stuff. And so different people will align with the different things, right? But there is that different angle. I have a realtor client of mine. She's been with me since I pretty much started the business, like probably a year in. She's been with me since. And even though she's a realtor and real estate is difficult in and of itself, right? Because you sell houses, but then it's like, who do you sell to and like, who do you attract? But the backstory, so she used to be from Marvel, one of Stan Lee's assistants back in the day, and she used to be one of the colorists in the comic books when they used to like hand color the books. So that was where she got involved in like that world for a long time. And I'm like, how cool is that? Like that's it's not something that you every day. And so because of that, she's very like in tune with that world. Even though like her audience is a little older, she does like the 55 and over communities. But still, like, what an interesting character trait, you know?
You were saying that, and I'm thinking of all the ways that she could promote herself to like a different demographic. It's like being the superhero for your like home buying process, whatever it is. I'm like, ooh, how can we like put this together? And it's so interesting because it's definitely one of those things that you talk to somebody. It's like, wait, you don't think this way? It's like, really? It's like, this is what I'm thinking all day. You tell me like, oh yeah, like this thing that I saw, and I'm like, ooh, how can that be a business?
You're like, it is. Have you thought about it this way?
It is definitely one of those things that sometimes like just get out of my brain. I don't need this. Like this
maybe
idea.
They don't want to know.
Yeah, they can go somewhere else. Like give it to somebody else that's gonna do something about it. So
right. Oh my gosh, I love it. I feel like we could go on talking forever because we didn't even talk about AI, which I did want to talk about. But I also know we're on Limited, where we are parked and stuff, and for the service and the room, because we've had a couple people now like walk up to this room like staring at us through the glass. So if you've seen us, like that's what that's for. So I definitely want to see if we can get back on and we can have like the conversation. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So what of all the things that you do, kind of like to wrap this up, so two things. What is the thing that you enjoy most to do? So if someone like wanted to work with you, like what is that? I believe you mentioned kind of earlier, like the websites and kind of like
the foundation. I think the foundation pieces, strategizing is fun, and doing the ongoing work is a fun thing, and it's definitely a good, for lack of a better word, it's the good cash flow for us. It's like when you get into that, like, okay, monthly, I'm going to be doing this, and that. We're going to be shifting gears every now and again.
Yeah.
That's fun. It's good for us to like stay alive. But I think for me, the biggest pieces are like developing that brand and making sure that you have the proper, like your website communicates the right things, like your social media looks like it belongs all together, and not that you look like a realtor here and then you look like a home designer there and then you look like something else somewhere else, because that happens quite a bit. And it is really easy to get into those patterns where, well, I feel like Instagram, it's more for like this type of content. And it's like, well, yes, but then you're kind of like reverting, like you're kind of like inverting yourself of who you want to be and who you want to like. So I think a lot of that, the conversations and how to put things together, comes down to like your brand, how you want to represent that brand, how you want to like make it shine. So
do you so that just sparked another question. But do you, when you work with clients, like do you change the content for the platforms? I'm asking because I have always promoted, like, you know what, you don't know where your audience is going to see you and on what channel, and I don't have them redo content for like a different angle. And a lot of it is because of that branding too. Like if our content strategy is educating, we're educating, doesn't matter what platform, right? Like that's what we're doing. And I do a lot of clients that like to educate. But for you, when you deal with your clients, do you kind of switch up some of the content on different channels?
The base, the voice doesn't change. It might change kind of like you align the target a little bit. So let's say we're doing a social media campaign. Facebook is gonna, if we have the opportunity, sometimes we don't have the client comes in with a limited budget or a limited.
Yeah, and then it's like the same thing.
So we have to like, we can still change things here and there, but Instagram is now more millennial, Facebook is more on the older generation, and TikTok is the one where like you're gonna catch anybody from like 10 all the way to like 60, but usually it's on the younger side. So you kind of like, you can approach things slightly different. And if it's like education, it's very different to educate a 30-year-old on houses than educating a 20-year-old on houses. Not because they could be in similar spaces. They could both be looking to buy a home, but the way that you sell it to a 30-year-old is different than the way that you sell it to a 20, or the way that you sell it to a 60-year-old. So I think there is the opportunity to
like fine tune and adjust it.
Fracture things in a way where like, okay, now you're gonna have like multiple avenues to like promote this. So
got it.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that, too, just to briefly mention AI, because I feel like we wouldn't be in our space if we did. And we have not talked about this at all yet, but I feel that as custom as you are, you probably have the same feelings that I do of a lot of the stuff that people are using comes out like cookie cutter, right? Like I've seen a couple AI websites.
Okay. Yeah.
I have 2 different clients that are working with AI developers on different, from different companies, right? And like just putting them up side by side together. Like I was meeting with a client the other day and I was like, hey, I don't know if this is the case or not, but I just want to show you this website that another client had developed the other day that we know for sure is AI and your guy is saying is not AI, but I just want to show you like on the screen next to each other. And I'm just like scrolling down and he was like, oh my gosh, you know? So what are your thoughts on that? Like as, I guess as
I use AI daily.
Yeah.
Mine is how can I shorten time for like the menial, like annoying tasks. Admin, I hate with a passion. It's just one of those things.
We're not meant for that.
Yeah. So anything that it's like documentation, putting a document together, a report, whatever. Okay, here's all the information. This is what I want to talk to a client about. This is how I want to show it.
Yeah.
Just put it together in a document and I'll read over it. And
hey. How much longer do you need this takes?
Few more minutes.
Yeah. Sweet. We're gonna meet at 1:30-ish, which is now.
Okay.
If possible. But if we need to find somewhere else to meet, we can.
Okay, no, we're wrapping it up.
Okay,
cool.
Thank you. The beauty of going live.
Yeah. So basically, I still use it quite a bit, but I do not like. I try to make sure that my input is always in it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, again, I've written content for like HVAC companies for a million years, and I've done everything, social media, blogs, whatever you want to like mention about it, I've done it.
Yeah.
So it is definitely a refresher and it's a good tool, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. It is not an employee.
Yeah.
It's a tool that will help you diversify, that will help you like ease up your time. And to us, it's like if I'm working 80 hours a week in marketing, I need a little bit of support. And sometimes it's good to have that like kind of like backup. Maybe I'm dry right now, but I need to get something done, and let's get something and then I'll polish it later.
Yeah, kind of like what you said before, like write it down and then edit later. Yeah, 100%. So that was one key thing. You guys just make sure you input as much information as you can.
Make it your own.
Yeah, don't have it just create. Don't
write me a blog. Be like, well, good luck with that.
Don't do that. Anyway, like I said, we could keep going forever, but we have someone else coming in the room here too. So we did sneak another half hour. So thank you guys all for watching. And if you're watching on the replay, if you have any comments, questions, definitely put them in the comments. We'll keep an eye on that and we'll get back to you. If you guys want to learn more about Diego, please check out his website, obsidianatlas.com. I know we're going to be talking about, potentially like doing more work together for our clients and stuff. There's not a lot of people in the marketing space that I think like us, not that I've met. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, we have the same ideas. So definitely reach out to him if you have any questions. Any last words of wisdom to send us off with? Could be anything.
If you're a business owner, if you believe truly about what you put out there and what you do, just keep going at it. I know it gets hard. It's just perseverance is like more than half of the battle.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to have a bad 6 months. Sometimes you're going to have a bad year. And unless you're like hitting the dead horse, that the horse is just gone, he's been dead for 2 years, then consider something different. But if you know that there's still some energy, still some drive, it pays off. It does pay off. So
love that.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, we hope you guys have a fantastic day. We'll see you in the next episode.